Hi, gorgeous. Welcome in. You are tuning in to Phocused Wellness. Thanks so much for joining today. I'm so happy to have you here. I feel really blessed to be able to do this and do these readings for you. Thank you just for, tuning in and watching. And I hope this resonates with you. We're doing another pick a card reading of a wellness, weekly wellness reading. To be able to tune in to sort of like what's going on, and also if there's any, the messages are guided by spirit. And then also too, because I'm a certified health coach, can I have some advice for you, to help really integrate the energy from the reading. So hopefully you find it useful and beneficial. And if you don't, that's totally cool too. I hope it resonates with you, but if it doesn't, that's totally fine. It's not meant for you. It's not meant for everybody. This is a collective reading. But hopefully it does. And so, thanks for coming in today. If you want to book a private reading with me, my information is down below. I will never reach out to you. So if anyone is, in the comments or whatever other platform, yes, it's not me. I will never reach out to you because I think it's creepy and that's just not how I roll. So if you reach out to me, I will respond to you, but otherwise do not expect me to come trolling you or crawling after you. Like that's just not how that's not how I work. So yeah, I'd love to work with you, but in the meantime, please enjoy this reading. So we have two piles here again for this week. So pile 1, we have number 44, the Thinker. So feel free to tune into this energy. And then pile 2 is 29, Breathe, from Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So 2 really wonderful readings. I hope they help support you in your journey. And, take a moment, take a couple deep breaths and tune into which one's speaking to you. And then I'll see you in your reading. Hi, gorgeous pile 1. Welcome in to your weekly reading, your weekly wellness reading for this week. Hope you're doing great and are having a safe and productive start to the new year. You know what? No, I hope you're having a safe and fun start to the new year. If you're watching this in January, productive, will always be there for you. But really, I wish you fun and joy in this new year ahead. I feel like we all need it after just how crazy everything has been. So let's dive into your reading. I've already cleansed and shuffled your cards just to bring us a little bit quicker along here. So first up here, we have the Wisdom of the Oracle card, divination cards. So let's see what we got. We got 2 cards that came out for you. We have the Thinker, 44 in reverse. And what I'm getting from this already is, I think typically with the Thinker, it's like, being very thoughtful about things. And, you see this woman here like in, solitary by herself and just, kind of having a moment. With it reversed, I kind of feel like maybe it's been overthinking. I feel like you've been in your head a lot. You've been kind of isolating yourself, really. It's time to come down from, these blocks in solitary, I think. So it feels to me like we're in a bit of an overthinking mode here, especially with 44. 44 is like a really beautiful angel number. That's, their divine protection, I believe. And there's 3 4, 5, like 6 little stars that are kind of like falling down. A couple are already on the ground. And it feels like with this upside down or in reverse, that they're not floating the right way. And so the blessings are not coming to you because you've been overthinking, you've been too much in your head. So I think what we need to do for this week is really turn this around and get out of your head too much and start really like coming back down to earth. So maybe we need to do some grounding this week to get you out of your head and into your body and in a more present state, because it definitely feels like, with her wings sort of, not afloat and not ready for action, she's sort of taken herself out of the equation for a bit here. If you can see this beautiful card here. So I feel like maybe that's what we need to work on for this week. First card out is the Thinker. So going from less overthinking, which is always good because it helps you sort of work through different, situations or emotions. But I think what we need to do is get out of the head and into the body, just given that this was the first thing out and it came out reversed. So I think the thinking you're doing is too much and not getting you very closer, is not getting you closer to what you necessarily want. And I think it's time to take action. So let's see what this one. We also had this one in reverse, the Observer. So number 49. So again, maybe you've been taking yourself out too much and you've been not being a part of life. And what's interesting is that these are the same banners up here, if you can see that. So it feels like the Observer is even higher than the Thinker. So you are connecting what's wonderful with the divine and getting that sort of divine inspiration, and that's what you're really looking for. And see how the stars are trickling down from the divine, down through these two cards and these two, vibes here. And so I think what we need to do is get you out, because they came out reversed, I feel like we need to get you out of observer mode and out of thinker mode and into more of a doing mode and like taking action. So let's see what the other cards here have to say. So now we just have our, great sort of Rider-Waite deck, classic, tried and true. Hopefully there's no nudie scenes on here, so I'll take a peek first. I have not looked at these cards yet, just to make sure we are compliant with YouTube rules. Okay, so first out, we have the 5 of Wands in reverse. And the 5 of Wands in reverse is, you see how all these folks are just like battling together, and they're kind of like just having a play fight. It can be playful, or it can be that they're trying to like, jockey for one thing in particular. We don't know what the situation is that they're maybe, competing for, if they are in competition. But it feels like maybe that's why you've been overthinking something, is because you feel like you've been in a situation where you need to be, battling others for, your space and for your rights. And maybe that's what it is. It's like, I think it's time to let that go and notice that the situation isn't as drastic as you think it is. It doesn't feel like, I wonder if the other folks that you think that you're mentally battling aren't battling you. They're just like living their life and doing their thing. And that's just their personality. Some people are just argumentative by nature. They prefer to have a debate, and do all that versus, some of us more sensitive souls would rather just like get along and like, let's all be copacetic and let's look out for one another's feelings. So maybe you've been perceiving something as a battle when it maybe isn't. And I think that's probably what it is too. Like, we've been thinking too much about this situation and it's not going anywhere. That's what it feels like to me so far. So let's see what else we have here. Yeah, the 7 of Pentacles, right? Is that 7? I can't read upside down. Yes, it is. So you've been waiting for something to come in. So maybe what it is you've been waiting for something. The Pentacles is something in the material. It can be, money. It can be career. It can be, something like actually tangible. Maybe you're actually growing something in your garden. I don't know where you're living. I'm in the, in wintry New York right now, so not much is growing here. But maybe you've just been like, waiting, and you've been trying to see how something's going to play out and hoping that the fruits of your labor come to culmination. And you think it's too much of something. You're thinking like, oh my God, it's not going to work. Oh my God, it's not, going to harvest. I'm not going to see all these things. I've been putting all this time and energy into this, and I think that's typically when this is upright, it's a more patient card. It's like, okay, we got this. I've done all this work. I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor. It's so great to see all these things, starting to grow and blossom already. But in the reverse, it definitely feels like that's what's blocked, is you feel like you're not seeing the results of your actions so far. And it could be because you're in a situation where you feel like you're having to battle more than what might be necessarily true. So next up, we have the Knight of Cups also in reverse. Are these all in reverse? No. Okay, good. So yeah, I think that you had a situation where you're like, oh my God, it's something new coming in. It could be love. It could be, like a new situation or job or something that you were like, oh, this is going to be so emotionally fulfilling. This is going to be, exactly what I wanted. I have a knight coming in here, bringing me all that I desire and love, and it's going to be fantastic, right? And it's like you had all these hopes and dreams attached to this, and the knight was here to deliver it. But now something's stuck. Now you've gotten past the honeymoon phase, and you're like, okay, I've put in a ton of effort. I'm not seeing the results of it. Where is my promotion? Where is my pay increase? Where is my authority? Where is my leadership? And that's what you're not feeling right now. And that's why I think you're in your head too much of just like, oh, like, what do I have to do to get out of this? Like you're trying to like disassociate from your body really to here, because you feel like it's been too combative and you've been waiting too long, I feel like. And I think that's kind of what this is, the vibe here is giving me so far. So I don't know if you've been feeling that way, or this is like a continuing sort of pattern in your life that we need to sort of work through here. And noticing the patterns is super important because, until you recognize it and work through it and address it, it's going to continue showing up in your life in different ways. It could be the same, like you're, working in a career and you like switch jobs and then the same sort of shit comes back up again, so it's like you really have to work through it. And I think just like, again, get out of the thinking mind and get into the action mode. I think that's maybe what's going to help us here. So let's see what's next. Oh, good. Okay, good. So the Ace of Wands is new opportunities, new creative ideas coming in. It's definitely divinely orchestrated. It's something that you've been wanting. And now divine is like, okay, here's, the beginning of it. If we think about the ace in the, in the tarot, it's the beginning. It's a spark. And the wands are creativity and excitement and a new idea, and just like new opportunities. And as you can see with this wand here, it's already growing leaves on it. So it's already fertile. It's coming to you in a place that's not like, oh my God, I have to start all over and I have to redo my crops. It's like, it's already coming to you. Like the fruits of your labor, I think, are paying off in a new way. And I think it might be a new situation coming in for you is what I'm getting, because it feels like you've been stuck. You've been waiting for something to play out. And now here's a spark that's coming in for you. And it could be a new job opportunity. It could be, a new idea, or a new path is opening up for you. There's definitely something new. And I think here too, especially with like the river in the background and the castle in the background, if you can see that, it definitely feels like it's time to move and get to this other place where you want to go. And now here's a way to do it. Here's a way forward. Here's a new idea. Here's a new job opportunity. There's something coming in for you really beautifully, which is amazing. And that's exactly what we need. I feel like we need now to like exhale after looking at all these cards where it's like, oh, I'm feeling stuck. I'm in my head. I'm really trying to look at these things objectively with the observer here and the thinker, but it's just not working and I feel really stuck. And now you're going to have something coming in, hopefully this week. Aces typically tend to come in pretty quickly. And this is a weekly reading. So, it could be this week. I think wands are typically in a weekly basis too, versus like a day or like a month or a year. It's going to happen pretty quickly. So keep an eye out for that new coming in. Could be, again, a spark, a word of inspiration, an actual offer coming to you, that helps you think differently and gets you out of your head and just be like, oh, okay, this situation, maybe it's not for me, or the situation is fixable in a way where I don't feel like I'm constantly doing battle and waiting because something like clicks for you. That's what it's feeling like. Okay, let's see what the last card here is in the Rider-Waite. Okay, Temperance. Yep, great. So we have Major Arcana here. Temperance is all about balance. You know, it's the angel here, Gabriel, coming in. I think it's Gabriel, to give you divine inspiration, to let you know that, like, you know, stay in your balanced mind. And you can see that, like, the third eye is really lit up here, as well as the heart chakra. You know, so just keep those lines of communication open to when something comes in and it comes from your heart space and it resonates and you're like, yes, that's what I'm feeling. It feels like, oh, great. Now I can, you know, move along here. And it could be coming in again as, like, you know, divine inspiration via the third eye. You know, it could be a new idea, you know, it's just something coming in, I think, either through your third eye or through your heart. And it's going to resonate really well with you. And you're going to feel a lot more balanced. You're going to feel a lot more in control. And you're going to be now on the path to the crown back here of what you wanted. So success, you know, happiness, like whatever the situation is for you, it feels like that path is opening up. So Temperance reminds us to not fly off the handle, you know, to be really balanced in communication, in emotions, and just trust in the process, you know, that something is coming in. The angels have your back. You know, they want to deliver something to you, literally from one cup to your cup, you know, to be able to say, here you go. Let this help you, you know, tiny human. And we love you so much. We want the best for you. That's really what I'm feeling. Like, sometimes you have to go through all the adversity to have, I'm not going to say appreciation, because it definitely doesn't feel like you haven't been appreciative of what's been happening in your life, but it feels like maybe we have to go through the hard to really savor when something beautiful comes in. And also too, like, difficulties make your life story that much richer, you know, because, like, I think that a lot of times we tend to want to be, you know, in our comfort zone and everything's great. I'm in flow. It's just like everything's clicking for me. But really what makes you stronger and what makes you more relatable is having adversities in your life, you know, that people are like, okay, yes, I see you. You know, I understand you. My left ear, sorry, right now is just absolutely on fire. So clearly I think this is where we're on to something here, that, you know, adversity makes you more relatable and a better leader, because you're able to actually, like, understand different situations rather than just being like, you know what, everything was so easy for me, I don't know. You know, it makes you a more empathetic leader, you know, manager, like whatever it is, you know, if you're creating a business, whatever it is. Sometimes going through the struggle and the hard is what makes it so sweet and so beautiful. And I think that's what Temperance is trying to remind us here, that, like, you know, for all these beautiful flowers to blossom, they had to go through mud. They had to go through all of these, you know, like rocky bits over here. And the path, it has hills and valleys, you know, that's just part of life. And I think even here too, in the Ace of Wands, it's not just like a straightforward thing. There are bends in the road to make us, like, you know, find our way in a way that's unique to us, in a way that's not about just cookie cutter of like, well, this person did this, and if I follow the same formula, the exact same thing is going to happen. No, like, you want to have your own richness in your life. And I think that's maybe what we're kind of figuring out here is, the more we get out of the thinking and into the doing and knowing and trusting that something beautiful is coming in and we have to take action on it when it does come in, that's what's going to make your life so beautiful. And at the bottom of the deck, when I was shuffling and cutting, is the 8 of Cups. Here is that 8. I can't read. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Cups. Sorry. 8 of Cups is walking away. 7 of Cups is all about choices and trying to make the right decision. So maybe maybe you're going to have some things coming in where you feel like, what road am I going to go down? You know, like what path? Or you're currently feeling like, oh God, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't know which option to do. And you're going to have clarity coming in for you about which cup you want to discover and explore. And there's never a wrong choice. I think that's also really important to point out here. So there's never a wrong choice. You kind of just have to make a choice and go with it. And if you don't like it, you can always fix it. There's plenty of options. here for you. You're so abundant in options. And so you're never going to make a mistake. I think that's important to know here too. It's like you are divinely guided. The angels here have your back. You're never going to make a mistake. If you decide to go in one cup and there's a snake, okay, well, we learned from that. And now we're going to learn then how to tame a dragon. I think there's like such unique life lessons to be explored in each of these cups. And you have options. So don't ever forget that. You always have options. You're never stuck. And sometimes when we're stuck in our minds, again, I think this is why I keep going back to the like mind-body connection, is we need to move and process those, thoughts and move those emotions through movement in your body. So I already feel like, I'm going to give you a recommendation to put on your favorite song, 3 times a day. I'm going to say 3 times a day. So in the morning, when you wake up, put on a song, dance it out, go into your day feeling like, yes, I got this, like move your body, get those emotions out. If you can also do it, in the middle of the day, check in with yourself, see how you're feeling. Once again, my left ear is absolutely on fire right now. So in the middle of the day, do a check-in, see how you're feeling. Are you in your head or are you in your body and you're present? Check in. If you need to, again, throw on that song, throw on another favorite song and dance it out, or, do something, clean your house, move your body, go for a walk, just like, I think that's really important. And at the end of the day too, clear out those emotions from the end of your day so that you can go to bed rested and then you can wake up refreshed and renewed. I think that's just important. It's like, let's get out of your head, get into your body. And also too, like there's, obviously that trend now on TikTok and, social media is about somatic arts. Consider that, it's like creating an art piece through movement of your body and just letting that dictate instead of trying to be so in your head about like, it needs to be perfect. I need to do it this way, paint by numbers, blah, blah, blah. Like just, again, get funky with it. Have zero expectations of it. Like no one has to see it. It's really for you. It's just an expression to get what's up here out. That's important. We got to get it out. We got to get all the thinkings out because otherwise we don't want to be stuck. Being stuck sucks. We don't like that. So that's, I think, the advice we have for this week is moving. But I do have a couple more cards here. We have the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards here. So for, advice, or things to touch on this week, as just sort of like, if it comes up for you or you see it, or you're struggling and it's like, a particular person in here and you think about it, like try and embody what that is. So let's see. We have Eagle. See from a higher perspective. Yeah, again, I think it's like we're so far in this situation and so in it that sometimes you just got to like zoom out, take some time away from it and just let it be. And if you see an eagle this week, it could be an actual eagle, it can be, a photo or, on someone's like bumper sticker, something like that. It's just confirmation to remind you to check in with yourself and to like, just know that everything's going to be okay. And then secondarily, we have Fire Guardian, we have a sacred card. Okay, a secret one back here. Fire Guardian, ignite your passions again. So I think Ace of Wands is definitely coming out here. And again, we have, the triangles here that remind us about, I think, our true north, sort of like, what is it that's lighting us up, and think about connecting with the divine and knowing that's what's coming in for you. So ignite your passions. Again, do something that you love this week, because that will help in the movement and the stuckness, I think. And know that, again, the angels have your back. There's, angel wings here. Ignite your passions. So the more that you follow your passions, the happier you're going to be, the less stuck you're going to feel. Even if it feels silly, just do it. Why not? Who cares? No one's looking. Ooh, and lastly, we have Protection Guardian. Drop your shields. Yeah, again, I think it's like the, perfectionism. I think it's like it's time to let that go and just do something for you. This beautiful Protection Guardian is, peacock. She's got peacock feathers on her head. Her angel wings are all peacock as well. Let your expression come out. Like, don't be shy. Like, show the world what you have to offer here, because it's so beautiful. It's the palm of your hand is just ingrained in you and it should just come out, so don't keep it to yourself, I would say. And dropping your shields too is also about listening, letting the divine come into you and hearing, and not being so combative, to let the inspiration come in for you and not be like, oh God, I'm stuck. Where is it? When is it coming? Just breathe, dance, go into your passions, move your body, and let it come in for you. I love how this is all coming together. This is so great. Okay, lastly, we have angel number messages. Let's see. 3 came out for you. I was not expecting 3 to come out, so let's see what these messages are to help guide us for this week. Pile 1. So number 31, I am disciplined. Your approach to life is an effective mix of both practicality and imagination. Your mind is stirring with creative ideas, and you have the organizational skills to manifest them to life. Yes, see? It's time to start doing. Get out of your head, start bringing them to life, ignite your passions. Let's go. I think that's pretty clear. So obviously like 31, if those numbers are significant for you, 31, 3, 1, keep an eye out for that this week too. Number 66, I am positive. Your guardian angel is teaching you the essence of unconditional love, you guys. Is that not what we've been talking about? That's amazing. You're encouraged to have faith that the universe will provide for you while you're manifesting your inner desires. Oh my God. Yes, it's going to come in for you. I swear to God, it's going to come in, this new beautiful beginning. You just have to trust and understand that the universe will provide for you. As long as you are following your passions, and again, you're not in your head and you're doing more than you're like thinking. Of course, obviously think, don't just go into things blindly, but like put action this week into what it is that you've been thinking about, that you want to create, that you want to bring to the physical. I think that's really important for this week. Your guardian angel has your back. I am positive. 66 for that particular number. And lastly, 28. I am a leader. In an effort to accomplish great things, you recognize the value of working with others. You make a capable and compassionate leader who can bring people together and drive a team towards achievement. Again, sometimes adversity makes you a stronger leader because you're able then to drop into different experiences of other people, because how I see something is not how you see something, is not how someone else sees something. We don't have the same lens on our life. So the richer the experiences that we have, the more we can relate to others and the more we can lead and be empathetic and just, be heart-centered. I think that's so important. Oh, and at the bottom of the deck, I forgot to mention this earlier, from Wisdom of the Oracle, new life coming in. So yeah, again, all the things we've been talking about here, you're getting a new, gift from the universe in terms of the Ace of Wands and Temperance here, that's going to be emotionally fulfilling and emotionally balancing. And just, you have to open up to receive it. So get out of your head, move that body, think about somatic art, and I think that's really what it is. Knowing that you're not stuck, you have options. The universe has your back. The universe wants to help you manifest these desires and these passions. You kind of just have to take action on it. So I think that's the advice for this week, is check in with yourself, 3 times a day, get some movement in, dance it out, do something to get out of your head and get more into your body, and check in with yourself and see how you're feeling and see those incremental movements. It doesn't have to be, from 0 to 100 immediately. It's like, even if you, go tomorrow and you have, a walk 3 times a day, and like that's something new for you, like that's such an achievement and that's so incredible. So just think about those small wins. It doesn't, again, have to be 0 to 100. It can be small little things along the way that create bigger steps for you. That's going to help draw all this in. And just remember, drop your shields, let it come in. You'll know when it comes in because your heart and your head are going to line up and you're going to feel it. So if you can also too, just like, kind of drop into what does that feel like for you when do like a yes, no exercise. It's like when something feels good to you and it's a yes, how does your body respond? Do you feel uplifted? Do you feel open? Do you feel like singing, like what does that look like? Are you smiling? Like what is that for you? And what does a no feel like for you? I think that's also really important to help you understand the mind-body connection to be able to discern and put up those boundaries. So I think that's important too, is to start understanding your yes and your no from your body and the responses that come to you. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's your message for this week, pile one. Thanks so much for tuning in. I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. If it resonates, please, like, click, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. Leave a comment. Let me know how it's going for you. Because, the more that I get to hear from you, the more that I know that this, is, valuable, and that really helps me in these readings. So, all good things. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello, gorgeous pile two. Hope you're doing well. I hope your start of your new year, if you're watching this in January, has been absolutely fantastic and fun and inspiring. That's what I hope for you. Yeah. If you're watching this in January, whenever you're watching this, I hope you've been having a fun and inspiring time. So I've already shuffled and cleansed and pre-cut your cards, just going to speed things along here, but I've not looked at them. So we'll do it together. Excuse me. Throat chakra already coming to the forefront and wants to be known. Okay, cool. So let's dig in here. The first card we have is from Wisdom of the Oracle deck. We got 2 here for you. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so we have card 29, Breathe. What a beautiful card. I love this one so much. It's so beautiful. You can see a woman who's in a meditative state, kind of actually like elevated from the rest of the world and from all of the worries, from that come from just, like day-to-day life, and really just like levitating above everything here to be able to tune in and find, the peace within her, the voice within her, the serene being within her. Oh, that's so cool. Number 29 too. And I think what's interesting too is like, I see a couple bubbles here, so like when I think about bubbles, I think about kind of like that joy and just lightness of being, because if you remember like, playing with bubbles when you were a kid, you're chasing them around and you're so excited and they get out of reach, but then the ones that come near and you just like pop them and all of a sudden it's like, whee, it just feels like a sense of elation. So, I think it's like a sort of lightness of being here. So have you been working on, your meditative practice, and being able to tap in and feel more light and fun and effervescent? Or is that something we need to work on for this week? That could be really interesting because obviously, breathing is something we just naturally do, but when we tune into it and actually pay attention to it, it brings just such a moment of like clarity and calmness and sereneness. So being able to tap into your breath is so essential, especially in this day and age when things are just absolutely crazy out there. So maybe that's what we need to like think about for this week, because also too, what's speaking to me is that her crown chakra is completely lit up and there's like rays of gold that are coming in through that crown chakra. Yeah, so it's divine inspiration. It's divine knowledge that's coming in for you through breath work and meditation and being able to get out of that sort of like day-to-day bits and get to a calmer state. So maybe you're already there, and if you are, that's amazing. Teach me your ways. Teach me your meditation practice and your breathwork practice. I work on mine every day, and some days it's easier than others. Let's put it that way. Okay, the second card we have from Wisdom of the Oracle is number 28. So 28 and 29, how interesting. Building blocks. So as you can see, this woman here, it looks like she's put a lot of effort into, what she is trying to make of her life. And now she's able to take a moment to reflect. And it looks like she's pretty proud of what she's done. So I hope you're proud of what you've been doing. And maybe it is, part of your spiritual practice and you've been like really working on that to build it, to, create something for yourself out of it. or you're able to really, take a moment while you've been actually just like, going ham on your career, and you can take a moment to really just like let it all soak in and let it sink in and appreciate all that you've done to help, like increase your worth, increase your value, increase your knowledge, really, I would say, because, what is worth and value without knowledge? And I don't think that your worth is tied to your value, or your value is tied to your worth, or anything like that. I don't think it's material. I think it's really about, emotional and spiritual building here. So whatever you've been doing, congratulations, definitely keep going, and know that this is, an opportune time for you just to check in and recognize what you've been doing and appreciate it. And if you feel like you're still like, on the starting line of the building blocks, you're going to get there. You're going to be building something so beautiful and so serene and so meditative that you're going to feel really proud of yourself. But while you're building, your empire, your career, your family, what have you, don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to check in with yourself. Don't forget to just enjoy. Take a moment to reflect and to let divine come in for you and to appreciate all that, you've co-created together, because we don't do anything in this life alone. It's always with spirit. And so I think it's really beautiful to be able to acknowledge that. It feels like, the woman on the building blocks is looking at this meditative side of her, to be able to just say, thank you. Thank you for helping me get here. And thank you to yourself for understanding what you need in terms of, spirituality or meditation and calmness in your life to be able to then build what you're looking to build over here. What a beautiful start to your reading, pile 2. Wow. Holy cow. Okay, now we have the Rider-Waite just Tarot deck, just our, classic tried and true wonderful deck here. Hopefully there's no nudity. If there is, I'll have to figure something out because of just YouTube guidelines here. So let's see the first one out. Yeah, oh my God, the 6 of Wands. So you've definitely been having victory. Like whatever you've been working on is going to start paying off if it hasn't already. Because, if you look at this person, who's been out, accomplishing things and battling things, the 5 of Wands, which actually was in pile 1's reading, was just kind of about like, oh God, competition and da da da. And now you're being celebrated and rising, and you're being heralded by, again, you don't have to relate to the pile 1's reading, but, just the 5 of Wands, the people that you were battling are now heralding your success. And they're like, oh my God, congratulations. You did so amazing. And you're like, yes, thank you. It was hard won for sure, but like you deserve all of the recognition that's becoming in for you because you've put a lot of effort into it. It hasn't been just like an easy journey. It hasn't been just given to you. You've put a lot of effort into it. And I think that's definitely something to celebrate and commend this week for sure. If you haven't already, celebrate yourself. Celebrate what you've accomplished for sure. Yeah. Again, see the Chariot. You figured out your path, like the Chariot is all about like movement and going in a way and being, driven by spirit. So whatever you've been co-creating here, if it's a new business, like if it's a spiritual business, or you've just been, infusing it into whatever it is that you do, including like, building a family, that's also a massive accomplishment too. Just know that like there's victory. There's so much victory in what you've been doing and where you've been going. And it's divinely just not orchestrated, but like, it's your divine right to be able to show up in this way because you've been in touch, because you've been in tune with spirit, co-creating here. So therefore it's now time to reflect on all the accomplishments that you have. How cool is that? And the Chariot here too, it's also about, like the balance that you've had to figure out for yourself, because, if you tilt too way into only being on career and you neglect fun, then you're completely out of balance. And I think that's what, Spirit's trying to say to here too. It's also just that like you found that balance in your life, continue to do it and continue to let that drive you forward. because you can't be too much in one way. It has to be evened out here in order to accomplish great things. Yeah, cool. All right, let's see what else we got. Ace of Cups. Oh my goodness. All of these amazing, beautiful cards. Yeah, you've been getting just like absolute divine gifts coming to you. And this is, the cups are traditionally about, emotional fulfillment, but it can be just like, your dream coming true. And it's like, obviously you have to build through it throughout, the 10, steps here within the cups cards here. But like, it's a beautiful beginning that's just being given to you from spirit. It's being just like handed to you, and your cup is going to overflow, and you're going to be able to give back, to the collective and to other folks in your life to then be able to help them blossom. If you can see these sort of like, lotus blossoms down here, it's because of you being able to take what spirit has given you and you're sharing it out. How beautiful is that? Oh, pile 2, you've been just like, really, you found your mark, huh? Like, it definitely feels like you're being divinely rewarded, and maybe you've been having a tough go of it, but I think because you figured out through your inner work what drives you, that makes you successful, and what you find successful may not necessarily be, like billions of dollars or like, worth, like, of course we all want money and like, that's so necessary. But, I don't think that that's necessarily like the be all and end all, because there's so much richness to life that isn't just attached to money. And it feels like you've done the inner work to understand that. And, spirit is wanting to reward you in that way and let you know like, yep, all these things are now going to line up for you. Like, doot, 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 doot. You're going to get this beautiful gift. Your path is clearing here. You're getting victory. You're building into this like really successful, beautiful human who's like standing on top of the world, or on top of what she's built, but like same thing, it's a lot of hard work. And it's because you've done the inner work. And maybe you're starting now, and maybe you're starting to do the inner work. And just know that like, as you start doing it and digging further and further and healing yourself, you're going to be getting all that you've been like desiring in your life. That's so cool. We got 2 more cards here. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, come on. The 3 of Cups and the High Priestess. Okay. So this definitely could be spiritually related. If you're on a sort of spiritual track or spiritual career, or you're using it to fuel, let's say a corporate job, or what have you, but you're being able to tap in and understanding that your intuition plays the biggest part in your success here and connecting with the divine. I think that's what's really, it's what's driving your success, is being able to co-create with spirit and tap in. And again, look, we have the balance here between the black and the white, like I don't know what the B and the J stands for. I heard it a long, long time ago, and my memory is terrible, so I don't remember what it stands for. If you do, please put it in the comments and help enlighten me again. That would be amazing. But again, it's about the balance, between like not being too much in the earth and not being too much in the spirit. It's being able to find that middle ground where you blend together, divine and earth, because we are human currently, we're having a human experience. And so being able to bring those things together, so you're not too much in your crown chakra, or you're not too much in your root chakra, but you're able to really bring it into the center and then lead your heart out there, to bring you all of these accomplishments. And the 3 of Cups is just like such a fun card. So maybe that's what we were getting with when I was picking up the start of your reading, of just like, I hope you've been having a fun year, like start to your year, whatever, like get out there. It's definitely time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate all that you've accomplished. Even if you don't feel like you're done at the end, that's fine. This is the journey. But, celebrate yourself that you've tapped in, and that you're creating from a different space now, that you're creating with divine. And it's not, you don't have to muscle through it anymore. You don't have to try and do these things by yourself. You're going to be getting just such wonderful help from the divine, because Oh my God, excuse me. I just got a little choked up there. Like, this is so beautiful. I'm so happy for you, pile two. Like, you've been able to tap in. Again, I keep saying that, but it's just like the work that you've been doing. The high priestess is like, she's been studying. She's been, working on that inner knowledge that comes from meditation, and it comes from doing the work and from healing and connecting with spirit, and opening up your psychic gifts, because we all have them. It's just a matter of like, how much are you opening it? Like, what's the aperture for you? How open is the aperture for you? But again, I think as a reminder, like, don't get too much in your head. Be sure to balance it, in your root chakra, especially by pulling, from Mother Gaia to keep your balance, because that's going to be really important as you go through, this week or this year or whatever, as you're building what it is that you're building. Just remember to have balance and remember to celebrate. Take time to celebrate and to be like, yeah, go me. I did this thing. I'm really proud of myself. That's what we were getting from this woman here too. It's like, she's proud of herself. She's accomplished so much already. And it might not be, a freaking castle at the moment, but like, she's putting these things in place. She's done so much and she's done so much effort. So take the time to celebrate. Take the time to have a moment of fun, to get with your, girlfriends or boyfriends or your family, like whoever you most enjoy being around, and the people who celebrate you. That's also very important, is you want to surround yourself with people who aren't going to bring you down, who always see the best in you and who want to help you succeed and see the, just like, they're there to lift you up. That's so important, is to find those people if you don't already have them. Like, I promise you, they're out there. Your tribe is out there. But you want to be around people who lift you up and make you feel great about yourself, because there's nothing worse than having a friend or whatever, sibling, whoever, who's constantly trying to like gaslight you or bring you down or be competitive with you. You want those people in your life who are like, yeah, fuck yeah, you went and did that, and look at all that you're accomplishing. I'm so proud of you. Because you're proud of yourself, you want to be surrounded in that energy as well. So take the time for that this week. I think that feels really important, especially, January 11th, a 1-1-1 day. So it's an opportunity to like, infuse that fun. I think that's going to be the sort of like homework for this week, is to go out and have some fun. So be proud of yourself, like revel in your accomplishments, the smile on your face, knowing that like you've put a lot of effort into this, or you're trying to build something, that might be different and new, but you're taking a chance on it, and it's going to be divinely guided. You're going to be like so supported here in what you're doing. And it's going to like, this is just such a beautiful energy. I'm so proud of you, pile two. Like, congratulations. If you don't have people around you who are that, I am that person for you. I want to lift you up. I want to, make you feel celebrated. Like, congratulations, pile two. What you've been doing is so amazing. And divine and spirit want to also say that to you too. They're like, let's go. Let's go have some fun. Congratulations on what you've been doing so far. There's definitely victory here in so many of your cards. So like, continue doing what you're doing. Continue checking in, continue balancing yourself, and know that you're moving in the right direction. It's so wonderful, you guys. I'm so proud of you. Okay, we're moving on to Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards here. I got 2 cards. I thought it was 1, and there was a sneaky second one back in there. So let's see what the guidance is, if it's a touch point, or a person or an energy for this week to be able to sort of like, touch in on and gravitate towards. Okay, so Arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. Yeah, again, you want people around who celebrate you and who aren't going to bring you down, who aren't going to be competitive with you. You've already done that. You've been through the competition cycle. If you look at like just the 5 of Wands again in the deck, you've been through that competitive part. And now it's time to surround yourself with people who are here for you and are going to help you build what you're wanting to build. So keep an eye out for arrows this week. That could be, interesting symbolism if it comes across, in a tattoo, or, like a book that you like see out in the world, or something. just keep an eye out. And that's just a reminder from spirit, like a wink, like don't forget, surround yourself with people who love you and who want to support you. And then we also have peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. That's interesting. I don't feel like you necessarily have that, but maybe it's because of people who haven't been supportive. So you've been a little combative with them, excuse me. So you know what? It doesn't matter. They can have their opinion. If they want to judge you in their way, let them. I think that's like a big motto that I've been having recently is, you know what? Let them. If they want to go act all crazy and say certain things, let them. It's not going to affect my peace. And I think that's what this is saying. Keep your peace. Don't feel like you need to get into arguments with people about your path. Because, let's say it's like your parents and like, oh, well, I'd love for you to be, a banker or a doctor or whatever and make la, 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 la. But in your heart, you're like, I need to go do this spiritual avenue. I don't need to be tied to, a 9-to-5 or the grind, or what have you. Like, don't let it affect your peace. I think that's really important. There's like, especially our family is so influential on us. Just because and with us our, entire development. And so if you haven't done inner child work and you feel like you're not being supported, do some inner child work so that you don't feel like you have to be defensive or combative to continue doing what you know you need to be doing. There's certain times when, of course, family is right and they know you so well and blah, 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 blah. But I think whatever you're trying to build here in terms of, especially if it's a spiritual business, or something in that way, you know what? If they want to call you a weirdo, let them. If they want to call you, like whatever the words are, they're just words. It doesn't matter. You're guided by spirit. You have a bigger purpose here than trying to defend against people who don't support you. You want to find those people. Obviously, don't go join a cult. That's not what I'm saying at all. But just know your limits. Know when you're being defensive and let it go. And also know when you need to speak up for yourself. What's going to keep you in peace, I think, is most important. Yeah. That's an interesting little aside for this reading because it's been so positive up until, this moment, but it's a good reminder of your boundaries. So don't, let your boundaries go just because all these amazing things are coming in. People are going to talk. They just always do. And let them. When you feel like you need to stand up for yourself, but don't do it just in terms of like defensiveness or combativeness. Why can't I say that word today? Keep your peace. I think that's most important. Okay, we're going to close out your reading with some angel number messages. So we have first 555. I am optimistic. A major shift is about to come into your life experience and change your path's direction. Be open and stay positive. Holy crap, you guys. That is amazing. If you haven't already felt it and you're not already working on it, it's going to come in. It's going to come in fast. And it's going to be divinely orchestrated. It's so beautiful. Okay, and your last card, 777. Oh, great. Angel numbers here. I am in the flow. Your purpose flows from within you, and everything that is unfolding or being revealed to you is part of your purpose. A state of peace and calmness in your soul. You guys, if that's not just the culmination of all that we've just gone through right now, I love when this happens. Just like, again, I don't look at these cards in advance. So like just the beautiful bow that just got tied onto this is so amazing. So you guys, I think your homework for the week, if you want some homework in terms of like wellness, is to, celebrate yourself. I think give yourself time to take a moment and pause. You've been doing so much and you have so much that's going to come in. Take some time for fun. Yep, that feels right. So you guys, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, on all that's coming in. If this resonated with you, I would love it if you could, subscribe, do all that stuff. Leave me a comment. It's just like so wonderful to hear if this is resonating, and what that looks like for you, because this is such a beautiful reading. I'm so incredibly proud of you and supportive of you. And I want to cheer you on and say, keep going, and I will choose you from afar. So congratulations, pile two. What a beautiful reading for this week. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.